سَدِيدًا. All those who believe, when you speak with one another, speak with the will to bring the best out of each other. So when you speak with somebody, have the intention to bring the best out of the other person, rather than hurt them, rather than have a cheap attack at them, rather than be condescending, patronizing, rude. There is no need for that. Quran talks about 6 principles of communication, and I discuss this in great details in my book, and I don't have the time to cover them for you. But at the end of it, I give you 7 tips to knowing how to communicate. Knowing how to communicate, 7 tips. Let me give you them very quickly. Tip number 1, listen carefully. Allah has given you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Use it in that proportion, right? So listen more and talk less. Number 2, speak clearly and to the point. Don't go around the bend and round and round and round, and before you know the person is confused. Speak to the point. Be straight. Number 3, say what you mean and mean what you say. A brother said to his wife, I divorce you, I divorce you, I divorce you. I divorce your mother and I divorce you 1,000 times. And I asked the brother, why were you divorcing her mother? Were you married to her mother too? He said, no, I was angry. So, brother, if you are angry, why are you using such words? Well, I'm angry. Does it justify your foolish use of English language? No. Or some brothers would say, I give you talaq, I give you talaq, I give you talaq right now. I give you divorce in Arabic language, talaq. And then they say, oh, I didn't mean it. Brother, please, for a second, please tell me, why did you use the Arabic word talaq if you didn't mean it? Is Arabic your mother tongue? No. My mother tongue is Urdu. Why would you use the Arabic word talaq if you don't mean it? Why did you have to choose that word? You must have meant it, because you thought about that word and you used it. If you didn't mean it, why didn't you just say to her, get out of my face? So brothers, when you use the word talaq, you mean it. Don't come and lie to me and say I didn't mean it. Don't use it. Never use the word talaq unless you mean it. So mean every word that you say and say every word that you mean. Number 4, don't judge the other person's intention. Don't go around saying, yeah, I know exactly what's in your mind. You don't know what's in my mind. In fact, alhamdulillah, my wife doesn't know what's in my mind. And alhamdulillah, I don't know what's in her mind. I don't want to know. Can you imagine, Amjad, if our spouses knew what is in our mind? All our marriages would be in trouble.
Yeah, I think I would certainly not be able to get out of the house.
Alhamdulillah, Allah has saved us all from reading each other's minds. So please don't judge the other person's intention. Ask if you're not clear. What did you mean? What was your intention? Number 5, give feedback. Give them honest feedback. And when you're giving feedback, take responsibility for your feedback. I feel upset because. I'm angry because. I am not happy because. Not you make me angry. Not you make me upset. How can somebody else make you angry or upset? You chose that response. You could have chosen a different response. Don't shift the blame. Take responsibility for it. Giving feedback. Number 6, agree on a resolution. Yes, you may not be able to come to an end of a conversation. You may not be able to come to a solution, but agree on a resolution. We will discuss this later. I remember at the beginning of our marriage, when my wife and I had an argument, I turned around to my wife, and when she said to me, I need to talk to you, I said, I'm really sorry, I can't talk to you. I'm too angry right now. She goes, when can you talk? I told her, I'm too busy. I can't talk to you, and I cannot talk. And I took up my diary, Amjad, and I said to her, I can only talk to you. Let's put it in our diary. She was astonished. I actually put it in my diary 4 days later when I would address the issue. And you know what? The world didn't stop. We didn't die. Everything can stop. Everything can pause. Everything can wait. Let me give you one quick tip before I move on. Never argue. Are you listening, Amjad? Never argue when you're angry, when you're hungry, and when you're tired. Never argue or try and resolve a conflict. Try and deal with an issue when you are hungry, angry, or tired. 2 o'clock in the morning, your wife wakes you up and says, I want to talk to you. Sorry, darling, I'm too tired. I need to sleep. And as a wife, you should understand. Or your husband. He wakes you up and says, I need to talk. No, really sorry, husband. I need to sleep. Allah has created sleep for me to rest and wake up next morning. Wait until the morning, please. I'm hungry. I need to eat. Let me eat first. I'm tired. Let me rest first. I'm angry. Let me calm down first. And finally, practice what you preach.
Just before you go, I guess that also applies to the other partner. You should recognize these traits within your partner and avoid it.
Yeah, of course.
Especially if they've come back from work tired, or they're angry, or they're down. use another time to
Yeah,
kind
yeah.
of discuss what you
Allocate a
wanted.
different time. Calm down. Rasul ﷺ said, if you're angry, if you're standing up, sit down. If you're sitting down, lie down. Now, Amjad, do you think you can argue with your wife lying down?
No.
How long can you argue if you start? And when couples are angry,
The
they
only thing I
sit.
can't argue at all, she always wins.
Well, alhamdulillah. But seriously, two people lying next to one another can't argue. People,
No.
when they get angry, they sit up, and when they get even more angry, they stand up. Rasul ﷺ said, reverse that. If you're standing up, sit down. If you're sitting down, lie down. One day, Abu Dhar al-Ghifari radiallahu anhu came to a watering hole where he had brought his animals, and he was about to give them water. But he saw his watering trough has been broken. He became so angry, so incensed, because that's his own. He may have inherited it, he may have paid a lot of money. We don't know why, but he became very angry. But instead of screaming and shouting at people who broke it, do you know what he did? In the water, in the wet patch, he fell down on the ground and he lay down. People started laughing at Abu Dhar. Yeah, Abu Dhar, what are you doing? He said, I got so angry that people broke my trough. It's mine. I don't know why they broke it. I became so angry. But I remember Rasulullah said, he said, if you're standing, sit down. And if you're sitting down, if you're still angry, lie down. I knew I was too angry, so I lay straight down. On water, getting his clothes and back completely wet. They actually practiced literally what Prophet ﷺ had given them as an advice. Brothers and sisters, arguments normal between couple. But communication
Exactly.
means you find the right time to talk, an appropriate manner to talk, and resolve the problem and don't brush it under the carpet.
Exactly. We've got 6 minutes, and I'm going to ask you one more question before I ask you to kind of give us your final thoughts. The last question is really about expectations.
I was expecting that from you.
Sorry?
I was expecting that from you. Go on.
We have expectations whether we're looking to get married or whether we're in a relationship. Sometimes we've got to. What's your advice in terms of keeping those expectations in check and making them realistic, and getting away from? And I guess this is where Bollywood and Hollywood come back into it. These false expectations about what married life should be about.
I have a very simple formula. Before I got married, I went to my wife and I said to her, here is a list of things I am willing to offer in this marriage. She goes, what? I said, I'm here with a list of things I'm offering, not expecting. I'm not looking for anything. This is what I'm offering. When you change that conversation, your life changes completely. What are you willing to offer in a marriage? Then your expectations become realistic because you can only expect what you can offer. So I told my wife, I'm willing to offer a permanent role for myself and yourself if you want. I will always be providing as a breadwinner. You will never have to provide anything for this family. And in return, I'm hoping that inshallah you will offer me something. And she went and thought about it. She came and said, yes, I'm happy with that. In return, I'll offer you a home and I'll offer you children if Allah gives us, and I'll bring them up. Clear offering made a huge difference in our relationship. We did not go into our relationship, and we still don't, with expectations. We go with offerings. So instead of expecting it, offer it. Service to humanity is what wins the hearts and minds. So even in a relationship, offer services to your wife, to your husband, and don't expect anything. Don't expect anything.
MashaAllah, great advice. So Ajmal, we've got about 4 minutes, so I'm going to ask you to give us your final thoughts, your views, and remind people in terms of how they can order your book, where they can get it from. Honestly, we barely touched the book. There's a couple of big chapters: sex and intimacy. Are you compatible? We've missed out, and the appendix as well towards the end. But what's your final sort of thoughts? I mean, people that are having any difficulty in terms of their marriage or looking to get married, what's your final bits of advice?
You know, there is a Quranic verse, فَإِذَا عَزَمْتَ فَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ. Once you have decided on a matter, rely on Allah. Our community have a bad habit of thinking they will rely on Allah and do no work. So the Arabic saying, the saying of the Prophet, and that is tie your camel first and then rely on Allah. If you want to get married, get prepared for it. Get prepared. Get ready. Read, study, prepare just like you would prepare for an exam. If you're in marriage and you're struggling, seek help and support. Invest in your marriage. Change your marriage as the changes are required. Evolve with your marriage. Grow together. Marriage is an amazing space if you can make it grow. Marriage is a useless space. It will feel like a prison if you don't grow with it. So, brothers and sisters, my final advice to you all would be marriage is brilliant. Only those who know how to invest in it. Marriage is a prison for fools who think marriage is made in heaven and is delivered totally on their laps just to enjoy. They're fools. So please buy my book if you can. My book is available from my website, ajmalmasroor.com/book, ajmalmasroor.com/book. Please buy as many copies as you can. The more you buy, the better it is for us, of course, because we can provide more services, counseling, support, training, education to people. Maybe be able to write more books, inshallah.
Ajmal, how much is the book?
$14.99, and if you're ordering from the UK, there is a $3.99 postage. All in all, $17.99. You'll get a book, and so far the feedback has been just phenomenal. So please do buy the book. 1 copy, 2 copies. Yesterday, a sister bought 3 copies. Somebody ordered 100 copies because he wants to give them out free to his family members. You can order as many as you like because it is a sadaqah jariyah, inshallah, from me. Make it spread. Let the knowledge be shared with people.
And Jazakallah khair. And one more thing that I would like to touch on is the fact that, most of our relationships, or the relationships that are in problems, they normally wait till the relationship is almost ended before they go out to seek help. Sheikh, what's your advice? I mean, people should really be working on their relationship, looking for counseling at an earlier stage rather than the very last minute. When it's broken down, it's very difficult to fix.
Yes, absolutely. Don't wait for it to break down. As soon as the first crack appears, symptoms appears, start sorting them out. But sorting them out in our communities, I would strongly recommend to keep your families out of it. Keep your families out of it, because the more families you get involved, the more complicated it becomes. You should only get people who are trustworthy, those who are objective, those who are knowledgeable, to be able to give you help and advice. I would even go one step further and say, forget all of that, seek professional help. Find counselors who are trained to do this job. It's their job. We offer marriage counseling through Barefoot Institute itself. Our website is barefootinstitute.com. You can ask. Nowadays, all of our counseling is online, so you can be in any part of the world and we can give you counseling. Please do get in touch. Don't suffer in silence. A Muslim doesn't suffer in silence. A Muslim fixes the problem. And the way to fix it is by getting objective professional help and support.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. I would like to thank Ajmal Masroor for coming on today and sharing his valuable expertise and experience in terms of how to get married and how to deal with marriage or staying married. Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. And as Ajmal said, look, there's many professional organizations out there. In Glasgow, we've got Unity Family Services, we've got Barefoot Institute as well. Go out, speak to them, and try and do it at an earlier stage. Don't leave it till the last minute, because then the damage is probably irreversible. But thank you very much, Ajmal. And
take care. And from me, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Jazakallah khair. Thank you very much. I want to thank all our listeners. Inshallah, we'll be back next week when we're going to talk to Sheikh Rizwan Muhammad from iSyllabus.